afternoon, everybody. I just got a real quick encouragement for anybody who feels unqualified for the call that God has placed on their life, or even that they are unable to complete what God has put in their heart. I have been into the book of Exodus lately, and the last couple of days, honestly, I'm at that part in Exodus where I just want to roll my eyes and skip ahead, but I always make myself stop and slow down, and because I always have that thought, well, just in case God's going to show me something. And I was literally, there's actually an app on my phone, and I was going to skip a couple days ahead just to get away from these chapters, and I felt the Lord say in my spirit, just wait one more minute, I'm going to show you something. So I continued to read, and it was still more about, the measurements of the tabernacle, what colors to use, who was to do what are they to wear, and then it hit me all of a sudden like a ton of bricks. God gave step-by-step instructions to people that was stepping into something they had never done before, and he was qualifying them for the call. I started going back over it, and literally down to the color of the thread, God told them what to use. He said, even down to the utensils, so he gave them the outlook of the tabernacle, what to use, how to use it. And he also said for the inside, he even went on beyond that, and he went into the utensils they were going to use. Every single thing that they would need to do into this tabernacle, God gave them for. Not only did he tell them what to do, he made the provision before they ever left the land of Egypt. And I said, God, that is so amazing. I said, these are brand new things to these people, and you literally gave them a manual. You laid it out in front of them and told them how to do it, who's to do what. I mean, it was as if God was standing right there with a whistle, directing. And then all of a sudden the Lord reminded me, did I not do that also for Noah? And I was like, that was literally something unseen, never heard of before. What was a boat? There was no need for boats. And yet this ark, God gave him the measurements and the how-tos and what to do. And it may have took him 120 years to complete, but he did it because God told him directly how to do it. So I just want to encourage anybody who has been feeling a call of God on their life that is very out of their element, that feels unqualified. I'd like to tell you this. I'm an uneducated woman, and yet I wrote a book. Now, I'm not trying to say it's no Perry Stone or even Bessie Hicks, but it's mine, and it's what the Lord gave me. And I sat down. What amazes people the most about my testimony in my book is I sat down and wrote that book in a week, about 2 weeks time. I had 3 infants while I done this. I don't know, I just sat down and the Lord just downloaded into me. But it took me to get to that place where I said, okay, God, let's do this. He already had the desire in my heart. He already had the title in my heart. But it wasn't until I said, all right, God, I'm ready. Let's do it. How do you want to do this? And God just laid it open. And it was just like the floodgate just opened and it just poured out of me. And I know that I have a friend also that we had just had a conversation this week and said, I have this thing I want to do, but I feel basically out of my element. I'm unqualified. And I said, wasn't I? And her exact words were, well, you were self-taught. Basically, you taught yourself as you went. And I was like, I didn't tell this to her, but I'm thinking, is that not what all of us and anything we do when we step out into the unknown? So I'd like to encourage you today, ladies, if you have a desire on your heart, if you have a call that you know that is God-given, know this, God has already equipped you. He has already given you the provision in Egypt when you stepped out, and you might still be in the wilderness. Maybe you haven't quite got to that place where you're ready to build, but God already made the provision. You left the place of bondage, what you're going to use in this next season in your life. You are qualified because God has called you. And if God has called you, he will be there with the whistle, with the instruction manual. He's going to give you step-by-step instructions. So don't be afraid and don't be fearful to do something unknown. I was very unqualified to write a book, and yet I did. I was very unqualified to do a lot of things in my life, and yet I have, because God has given me the grace, and he told me to step out, and by obedience, I did. So if you have that calling in your life, just like the children of Israel had the call to build that tabernacle, and they had the call to leave Egypt, and they had the call to priesthood, God will be with you, and he will direct you. So do it. Go and you have fun with it too. Don't be afraid of it. Just do it, because you are qualified for the call. And that is all I want to tell you.